Happy Monday, everyone. Back another week. Seems like the weeks have been going by so quickly. Talking the other day about how we're, halfway, or we over halfway done with the year. It's crazy. Time flies, man. That was cliche, right? Time flies, buddy. No, but it's true. That's what I say. The time is going to pass, anyways. The time is going to pass. You're going to look up and it's going to be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20. You might as well do the things you really want to do now. Now, say it may take you 5 years to accomplish something. So what? The time is going to go by anyways. Listen, man, life is not waiting for anyone. There's no one coming to save you. There's no, it's not like, Denzel said it beautiful. He said, there's not a legislation for love. You can't legislate love. Meaning, a lot of times people are, they're waiting for, their community or the government to change something or for someone else to change something before. Listen, man, I'm not waiting on anybody. You don't have to wait on anybody to create change in your life. Once you realize how powerful you are the change you've been waiting for. You are the change you've been waiting for. Man, it's like, God, I get excited when I see people finally realize their power. What are you doing waiting on? Begging, with a little, alms for the poor. You don't need to beg for anything. Once you realize who you are, and that's why reading is so important. I say it during my meetup. The reason why reading is so important, when you read something, you gain confidence in whatever it is that you're reading. I was a biology major. I knew diddly squat about biology, right? Until I went to university. With university, I learned about biology. I didn't like it. It was boring, but I learned about it because of the books that I read. When I went back to school and studied computer science, I didn't know nothing about computer science either, and it was really challenging. But I read, I learned, I applied and practiced, and I gained confidence in the subject of computer science. If you're not reading about who you are, if you're not reading about the mind, the subconscious mind, and books about empowering you, spiritual books. I know it may sound, hyphy, but seriously, if you're not reading about these books, one of the greatest books that I've ever read that has a lot of the basic building blocks about who you are is the Bible. And I grew up in a religious household. I'm not religious now, nor do I judge anyone who has any religion about anything, and neither should anyone. I don't judge anyone's beliefs. That's not what I'm here for. That's not my lane. My lane is, what's your purpose? That's all I care about. But it wasn't until I started reading other books. Joel Osteen was the first book, religious book that had some spiritual aspects to it. And it wasn't until I started reading all these other spiritual books, Joseph Murphy's The Power of the Subconscious Mind, that it started giving, I understood the Bible more. It wasn't just, it made it just practical. The bottom line of what I'm saying is that by reading about who you are, okay, reading self-development books, reading about the subconscious mind, you are going to gain confidence in you. I mean, that's it. Yeah, whatever subject you went to school with, you gain confidence in. Social studies, or I don't know, political science, math, you know, whatever it was, you gain confidence in. And so reading is so important. And once, listen, it's impossible to not be confident when you know who you are. When you know that you were put here for a reason and you're needed, and the world will be better because the world will be better because you realize who you've always been. Listen, it's impossible to live a life feeling down about yourself when you know that you're needed. And if no one has told you this, let me be the first person to tell you today, you are needed. People need what you have inherently. And when you, or as you continue doing the inner and the outer work, you'll be able to fully give it to them. That's why you're here. You're needed. You're here to be a part of. Just like negativity is infectious, so is positivity. And I've always said it's like the zombie apocalypse, man. Once you actually grasp who you are and you have intention of fulfilling your purpose, it's like the zombie apocalypse. You start to infect people to realize their inherent greatness. And that's the beauty of life, guys. That's what we're here for. There are so many people, man, that listen, I believe heaven and hell is here right now. You can live heaven and hell here right now, depending on your mind. And there's so many people that are living in hell right now that I'm telling you, once you hit the spot, you'll be surprised how many people you'll be able to bless. That's what life is about. Not waiting, pointing the finger. It's about saying, okay, no. You have all the tools that you need, I promise you. Whatever you believe, you're right. Right? So if you don't believe that's true, you're right. So for this week, guys, I want you guys, again, this whole entire podcast isn't to just come and, feel good and go. No, I want you guys to, I want it to be where you actually create change, not just, I feel good. And so for this week, guys, I want you guys to say, okay, open your phone and what book am I going to read, and schedule, as I said last week, to schedule out, okay, when am I going to read? It could be one day a week, heck, one day a week for 5 minutes, right? Friday at noon during my lunchtime, for 5 minutes, I'm going to read this book. I'm telling you, progress over perfection. Anything is better than nothing. So for this week, guys, reading. If you already have, a lot of us already have books that are collecting dust. Oh yeah, I already have that book. Okay, did it change your life? Well, I read it. Did you apply it? Then read it again. Read it again. So for this week, guys, if you don't have a book, buy a book and then schedule out, okay, what day or what days. And again, you're not looking for a home run. As I always say, heck, base hit, half a base hit, just get in the game. It's life-changing. When you know who you are, everything about you and everything about everything around you, everyone around you changes. Listen, it's 2022. Let's not make this is already halfway done this year. Let's make this year different than any other year you've ever lived. I believe in you. Listen, you're listening to this for a reason, and I thank you for your time. I genuinely do. I'm very appreciative. I believe in you. I believe in you guys. But you got to give to get. So for this week, guys, get the book, or if you already have a book, dust it off. Schedule out. It could be 5 minutes for this week. But start getting into the game. And if you're already in the game, stay on it. I believe in you guys. Read. And as you're doing that, you're going to be reprogramming. little by little. All right? I believe in you guys. Enjoy this week. Motivation Mondays.